All right, great. So we'll start with our sports highlights as we usually do. We'll be having the highlights of sporting events or sporting activities that I deem important that would have passed through the course of this week. And I got a little thingy majiggy. So let me just, yeah. All right. So in our sporting highlights this week, we see where Khadija Bunny Shaw was nominated for the Ballon d'Or on the women's side. We also saw where Eden Hazard retired from international football. For some of us, Eden Hazard played for my club or played for my club Chelsea before he transferred to Real Madrid and have had a tough time since going to Real with injuries. And so he's called it quits on his footballing career internationally. We saw also this week that the Jamaica Premier League received a title sponsor, a sponsor that they would have had before, has come back on now as their title sponsor. So, congrats to Owen Hill and the team for securing a title sponsorship for this season's Jamaica Premier League, and we'll talk more about the Jamaica Premier League, which kicks off next week. So that will be August 22. So we'll talk to Owen a little closer to the time when we get there. Then we also, last week I spoke about the Cricket World Cup matches that I don't think we're kind of following the Cricket World Cup matches since the West Indies is not involved. I woke up this morning and I was taking in the India versus Pakistan game. When I was leaving, India was on the verge of winning. So that's going on right in India. So again, West Indies not there, but still looking at those matches. Yes. And then also we have the EPL. So of course the English Premier League is still going on. And I'll give you some updates on the matches that have been played since morning. And of course, I'll also give you the match lineup for the Manning Cup and the Doncaster Cup for today. So, as I said, this is going to be the sports highlights. So stick with me as I take you through that. Right. So, quite I didn't remember that EPL is not on this week as we're on the international break. But Jamaica played Grenada earlier this week, and we'll be talking about that later in the show. And they're going to be playing Haiti tomorrow in Trinidad. So we'll also be previewing that game as well. In terms of internationally, USA and Germany will play an international game today at 2:00. And last night, last night we had some preseason games in the NBA. So Los Angeles Lakers played the Golden State Warriors. And if you know about me, you know that I'm a little, undecided in terms of, or undecided as it relates to those two teams, as grew up as a Laker girl on Kobe Bryant, but in recent times have supported Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. That match last night ended 125 in the favor of the Golden State Warriors. Right. Regarding the Right. So one thing I want to a sport, I should say, something I need to share. A sport I've taken on this year or decided I'm going to follow this year is the national or the American National Football League. So the Right. So American football, I've decided I'm going to follow it. I've really done some research and decided that this season I'm going to pay it some mind. So I only used to watch American football when it is Super Bowl time. But this time I'm like, I'm going to pay some attention to what's going on in the season. So just for the record, just because, things are out there, for this year, I'll be supporting the two finalists from this year. So that would be the Chiefs and the Eagles. So those are the teams that I'm following. And as we go along, I will decide if I'm going to stick with them or not. But those are the teams that I'm starting to follow. And obviously, if you follow the NFL, you would know on the Chiefs team, the brother pair of Travis and Jason Kelsey or Kels that would have played in the finals, and they've made some rounds this year, as well as one of them dating a very popular superstar or supposedly dating a popular superstar in America. So, persons have been following them as well as their podcast. So it has been interesting, and I've decided that I'm gonna take on the NFL this season. So, right. So that is also it. West Indies women in their 3-day match series, they've been playing Australia. So we would have lost the 1-day series to Australia. And this morning, or should I say, yes, this last 240. Okay. So they would have lost to Australia in their 1-day series matches. This morning, they would have lost. Australia made 106 for 2 after 15.3 overs, and West Indies was bowled out for 103. So tough loss for the West Indies ladies there, but we continue to cheer them on. And that was, I'm trying to see. I think that was the second game in the series. So I do think they have another game left in the series. Or was it at the third? Right. So as I said, we're on international football break. So a lot of the players, including our players, are on international duty this weekend. And so that will be quite interesting. I know there have been lots of talks of how some of our players transition from regular duties in terms of their club side to playing for the national squad. So looking forward to see what will happen in terms of our own matches. So Jamaica, the Reggae Boys will play Haiti, as I said, tomorrow, and we'll be previewing that later in the show, as well as just the other teams. So if you're interested, find out where your star baller is playing in terms of the country that they represent, and you can also follow that or those matches that are on. We're going to go for a quick break here on Sports Talk. When we come back, we'll be talking about the World Athletics nominees, and I'll be giving you some information. I know some people have already stated that, they want Shericka Jackson to win, but we're going to put things in perspective when we return from this break.
Need a qualified counseling psychologist to help you navigate life and challenges? Call Andre Allen Casey with over 10 years of experience in resolving relational issues, therapeutic interventions for couples, families, and individuals. Andre Allen Casey, licensed associate counseling psychologist with offices at 20 West Kings House Road, Kingston 10. Open Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Telephone or WhatsApp 876-360-6594 or email andreallen_casey@yahoo.com. Andre Allen Casey, counseling with a difference.
Respect everyone. We are all made in God's perfect image. The Bible says in Ephesians 5 verse 21, submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Let's work together to make Jamaica a gentler, kinder society. A message from the Church of the Open Bible, 12 Washington Boulevard. Join in our worship service Sundays at 8 a.m. right here on Love 101.
My kids are growing up in a rapidly changing world. They amaze me every day with their curiosity and passion for wanting to create a better future for us all. The government is investing in Jamaicans through the STEM scholarship program. Now, my kids have the opportunity to pursue studies in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to get certified as STEM professionals. And yours can too. Find out more at www.mof.gov.jm/scholarships. Sign up for a STEM scholarship today.
All right, welcome back. Kathya is the name. Thank you for joining us on Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101. Thanks to those who have joined me on Facebook and YouTube. Good afternoon to you all. Getting greetings all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining. And for those who are on the WhatsApp line, 876-997-3125. Thank you so much for joining Sports Talk today. And if there are any topics that are being discussed and you would like to share your views, feel free to drop them in the comment on Facebook and YouTube, or you can send us a WhatsApp. Again, the WhatsApp line is 876-997-3125. All right, great. So let's jump in our first topic for today. We'll be talking about the World Athletics Awards for 2023. So earlier this week, the World Athletics Association would have released the nominees announced for the Women and Men's World Athlete of the Year. Now, they said that this week, the voting process has opened for the World Athletics Awards for 2023, and it says the nominations reflect some of the standout performances achieved at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest 2023 and one-day meeting circuits, labeled road races, and other events around the world. And it says the nominees for the 2023 Women's World Athletics Athlete of the Year Award are as follows. So then we'll just go through them. So Tagis Asifa, and she's from Ethiopia. She's a marathon runner, and this year she won the Berlin Marathon. She was a Berlin Marathon winner, and she's also the world marathon record holder. Then we have Femke Bol from Netherlands. She runs 400 or the 400 meter hurdles. She is the 400 meter hurdles champion from Budapest, as well as she is the world indoor 400 meter record holder. Then we have a familiar name, Sharika Jackson from Jamaica, runs the 100 and 200 meters. She is the world 200 meter champion and 100 meter silver medalist from the Budapest 2023, as well as the Diamond League winner for the 100 and 200 meters. Then you have Faith Kipyegon. She's from Kenya. She runs the 1500 meters, the mile, and the 5,000 meters. She is the world 1,500 and 5,000 meter champion, as well as the world record holder in the 1,500 meter, mile, and 5,000 meter. Then you have Maria Perez from Spain. She's a race walker. She is the world 20K and 35K race walk world champion, as well as the world record holder at the 35 meter or 35, yes, kilometers race walk. Then you have Gudaf Tesge. She is Ethiopian. She is 5,000 and 10,000 meters. So she's the world 10,000 meter champion. And she's also the Diamond League 5,000 meter champion with a world record. Then there is Shakari Richardson from the USA. She's represented in the 100 and 200. She's the world champion at the 100 meters and the world bronze medalist at the 200 meters. Then you have Yulimar Rojas from Venezuela. She's a triple jumper, world champion, as well as Diamond League champion in the triple jump. Then you have Winfred Yavi. She's from Bahrain. She is the 3,000 meter steeplechase world champion, diamond, as well as a Diamond League champion with a world lead. I think I left out. Okay, yes. Haruka Kichgajuchi from Japan. Yes, she's the world champion in the javelin, as well as the Diamond League champion. And then you have Yugoslava from Ukraine. That's a high jumper. She's the world champion in the high jump and also the Diamond League champion. So it tells you about the three-way voting process that will determine the finalists. It says the World Athletics Council and the World Athletics family will cast their votes by email, while fans can vote online via the World Athletics social media platforms. Individual graphics for each nominee will be posted on the different social media platform in the week, and they said, each like will determine a vote. So the votes will count as it relates to the World Athletic Council's vote will count for 50% of the results, while the World Athletics family and public vote would count for 25% each of the final results. And it says voting for the World Athletes of the Year closes at midnight on Saturday, October 28th. And at the conclusion of the voting process, 5 women and 5 men will be named as a finalist by the World Athletics on November 13 and 14. And then the winners will be revealed at the World Athletics social media platform, on December 11. And then the award ceremony will be held. So that's it as it relates to the women who would have been nominated for the World Athletics Award. And I'm sure I saw the men as well that were nominated for this year. But let's talk about the women. Let's go back to the women and talk about them for a second. Some popular names have been mentioned as it relates to the women's nominees. Shericka Jackson, or own Shericka Jackson, being mentioned. And truth be told, she's had a phenomenal year. So we will do our part as Jamaicans and vote for her in the public vote. But I think Faith Kipyegon of Kenya, she has a really good shot at winning the award this year, as she's done extremely well. If I were to pick an athlete that was dominant, I would say Faith Kipyegon was very dominant this season as it relates to the 1,500 meters and the mile. She was very dominant. She broke the world record twice, I believe, this year. So her performance this year, having done the world record and having won the world championship, I think puts her on top right now. Sharika has run some very fantastic times as relates to the 200 meters, but has not been as dominant as she has lost some races this year. And so I think, in my opinion, Faith Kipyegon of Kenya does have the edge as it relates to dominating the circuit. But as I said, we can do our job in terms of the public vote by voting for Sharika on all the social media platforms on the official World Athletics social media page. So let's get on with it. All right. So the nominees for the men were also announced. And I think it's a little bit closer on the men's side than it is on the women's side, but yet still there is somebody who is a standout, and we'll get to that. All right, so there is Niraj Chopra from India, and he does a javelin. He's the world champion, as well as the Asian Games champion. There's Ryan Krauser from the USA. He does shot put. He's the world champion and also world record holder. And Krauser has been breaking the world record. I think he broke it once this year, but twice last year. Then you have Mondo Duplantis. He's from Sweden, American-born Swedish athlete. He does the pole vault. Well, he's the world champion, he's a Diamond League champion, and he's also the world record holder. And we'll come back to Mondo in a while. Then you have Soufiane El Bakali. He's from Morocco. 3,000 meter steeplechase. He's the world champion, and he's undefeated in 6 finals. You also have Jakob Ingebrigtsen. He's from Norway. He does a 1,500 meters, the mile, and the 5,000 meters. He's the world 5,000 meter champion. He's a silver medalist in the 1,500 meter. He's also the European record holder for the 1,500 meter, mile, and 3,000 meters. Then you have Kelvin Kiptum. He's from Kenya, who does the marathon. He's the London and Chicago marathon winner, as well as the marathon world record breaker. There is Pierce Lepage from Canada. He does the decathlon. He's the world champion as well as the world leader in that 10 event discipline. Then there's Noah Lyles, somebody who we know from USA, 100, 200 meter champion from Budapest. He's also the world's leader and undefeated in 6 finals at the 200 meters. Then there is Alvaro Martin from Spain. He's a race walker. He won the 20 kilometers and 35 kilometers race walk championships, or world race walk championship races, yes. As well as he's also the world leader in the 20 kilometers race walk. Then you have Karsten Warholm from Norway. He runs the 400 hurdles and the 400 meters. He is the world 400 meter hurdler champion, as well as the European indoor 400 meter champion. Then there is Metaldis Tentoglu is from Italy. It's not here, but I think I remember that other. Well, sorry. Yes, he's from Italy, right? He is a long jump world champion as well as the European champion. And if you remember in the long jump, Tentoglu, who would have denied Wayne Pinnock from Jamaica from receiving the gold medal in Budapest, where Ontario Gale also finished second. All right, so let's look at the men and let's talk about who I think will become eventual champion of the award this year. So for me, I'm going to go with Mondo Duplantis, as again, Mondo has broken his world record. He's been dominant on the circuit. This young man who is, I think Mondo is now 22, 23, but he's done a fantastic job as it relates to elevating the pole vault. He is currently way I would say way above everybody else because he's jumping 620. Everybody else is jumping 605 at best. That is 50 meters ahead of the rest of the world. And so for me, he shows that he's been dominant throughout the season, and I think based on all his accolades that he would have achieved throughout the year, I do believe that he will win the male side. And of course, I did say that Faith Kipyegon from Kenya, I believe, will receive the female award. But there are others in there. Jakob Ingebrigtsen from Norway, he went after the 1500, 5,000 double at the World Championship. He was beaten. So for Ingebrigtsen, 1500 meter is what I would call his pet event. He was beaten by British athlete in the 1500 meter, but then he won in the 5,000 meter. So, and then there's Noah Lyles. He won 3 medals at the World Championship in Budapest. So he won the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and he also won the 4x1. And then there's always Ryan Krauser, who didn't really dominate the shot put season as best, as he lost the Diamond League finals to his own teammate. And of course, as it said, Noah Lyles is undefeated in 6 finals. So again, the voting process will remain it will be the same for the males as it is for the females. So 50% of the vote will come from World Athletics, and there's the public vote as well as the fan vote. So public fan, 25% each, that will determine the winner. Coming up after the break, we'll be talking to Alexi Da Costa. He's the founder of 876 Stream and a friend of mine for a few years now. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we'll talk to him after the break. We'll be discussing the Reggae Boys match against Grenada, where Reggae Boys won 4-1. We'll also be previewing the match tomorrow against Haiti, and that match will be taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. So stick and stay with us here at Sports Max at Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
As our family grows, our home internet needs have grown too.
And now, with Flow's fiber-fast internet and smart Wi-Fi coverage, we're always connected in any room at home.
With Yacht and Road Plus, get gig speed, fiber fast internet, smart Wi-Fi, plus unlimited mobile on the go. All for the special offer of only $6,999 plus GCT a month. Fiber fast internet and smart Wi-Fi coverage inspired by you. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
The New Testament Church of God, in association with Kingdom Partners, invite you to a grand gospel crusade. Jesus is calling. What is your answer? Monday, October 9 through to Sunday, October 15, 6:30 each evening, with speakers Pastor Donnie McClurkin, Bishop Rowan Edwards, Reverend Easton Thompson, Evangelist Arthur Grant, and more. It's at the Gregory Park, Main Road, Portmore, St. Catherine. And also come out for the Health Fair, Saturday, October 14, 9 a.m. at Cedar Grove Academy.
What are the benefits of simplified CDD for consumers? Simplified CDD, or simplified customer due diligence, means that it is easier and faster and more convenient for customers that are assessed as low risk for money laundering to open their accounts. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. right here on the family station, Love 101. Name is Kathya. Thanks for those who have joined me on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks to those also who have joined us on WhatsApp. It's 876-997-3125. Joining us now is Alexi DaCosta. He is the founder of 876 Stream. Alexi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Kathya. Good afternoon to your listeners. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. Blessed. How about yourself?
Go again, Alexi.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you
Awesome.
before.
Yeah. I was saying, doing well. Blessed. Can't complain. How about yourself, Kathya?
I'm not bad. It's so good to talk to you in this fashion. Just a bit of history about Alexi and I. We went to, I was going to say we went to high school together, but that's not the same.
Couldn't be possible.
Not possible.
I went to an all-boys school.
So we went to brother and sister school. So I'm a son and Alexi's a KC old boy. But we've been following sports from we were in high school. I think Alexi's one of those friends I have that I know would have known that I'd have had a passion for sports from pretty early.
Yes.
And so it's good to be on a platform like this and be able to have you as my guest, Alexi. Really appreciate it.
Yes, and having our own platform was always a long time coming. So it's, we're grateful to be here, both of us. I'm sure.
Definitely. But tell me, before we go into the Reggae Boys, tell me about the work of 876 Stream. Alexi?
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
All right, go ahead now. I'm hearing you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So 876 Stream, founded by myself and a couple of my partners, friends, also KC Old Boys. So if there's anybody that wants to support a KC born and bred business, where to turn to. But yes, it's a digital content marketing company, sports content marketing company. Basically, just to put it into very simple terms, we have an audience, a sports hungry, sports captivated audience, via our channels, on Instagram, YouTube, etc., Twitter. And what we basically specialize is we try to put brands in front of the audience. Brands there, you might have a brand here that is supporting that is backing, sponsoring an event, a track meet, a national championship, a football match, whatever it is. We do some work with them, create content, create nice videos with photography, shows, etc., and put it in front of the sports hungry audience. So we know Jamaica is a sports crazy nation. So whether it is football, netball, we're the digital media partners of the Jamaica Netball Association, digital media partners of the Jamaica Premier League. We work very closely with Owen, Chris, and his team at the PFJL. So that's basically just in a nutshell what we've been doing, what we've been focusing on.
Right.
And of course, there's more to come.
Definitely. I'm looking forward. I mean, the coverage from your team, if I might say, or if I might add, has been fantastic for the sporting events that you guys have covered, and just doing a great job there. I look forward all the time to the content coming from the 876 Stream team. But outside of that, you're welcome. Outside of that, we're here to talk about some football. In particular, the Reggae Boys. Talk to me about the match. So let's start from the starting lineup that went out on what day was it?
Thursday.
On
Thursday. The game was on Thursday, right? So
go ahead.
There are a few surprises. I'm glad you started with that, Kathya, because there are a few surprises to many people with the starting lineup. No Andre Blake, no Damian Lowe, no Liam Bailey. Everybody loved to see Liam Bailey performing. So that was really, I guess that was the first thing we kind of look and we're like, interesting. But my understanding is that they were rested. And not to downplay Grenada and their capabilities, but I think everybody knew that the the team from Haiti was always going to be the tougher team. So you had Jamali Wait in goal, Michael Hector, who I haven't seen for years in the national program.
Exactly. And I think that was a surprise, even though Alexi, for me, he got called up. I'm like, so they call him up. Michael Hector has not played in the team for a while, but then you get on the starting lineup. I was like, that's
Yes, straight into the starting lineup. Exactly. Your head was in the same place mine was at, to be honest. So he partnered Bisham Bernard in defense. No surprises there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two new wingbacks. Well, not new, but not. I don't think Gregley played the last set of games for Jamaica.
No, he
So
didn't.
he came in. Right. He came on. Tavon Gray came in, who apparently had an injury and had to come off at halftime.
Right. And so I'm sure tomorrow we'll see somebody else in that position again.
Right, exactly. So I think tomorrow we're going to have Dexter Limbiki. So who, I don't think he had a great time playing that role. And in the second half, I think they tore him to shreds, if we're being honest. But yeah, that's the rest of the starting lineup. Surprises again on the front line, the striker position. Romario Williams, the man at Colorado switchbacks, USL. Who's also a friend of mine. He's also a KCO boy. Has been doing great things for a number of years in the United States. So it was good to see him back.
Right.
Shamar Nicholson. He's one of those players that divides the fan base somewhat. I love to see him play. To be honest, I think he has a lot to offer. He was there, so that was good as well. And the usual suspects: Bobby Reed, Demarai Gray on the flanks, Joe Latiboy there, and Kevin Lambert.
Kevin Lambert, right?
So for me, it was, we've seen over the years a lot of chopping and changing. So it wasn't the desired sight for the Jamaican, the reggae boys fan to say, all right, have another change lineup. So it wasn't something that we're pretty much looking forward to. But in the end, they got the job done. At least the first half they started off well, but got the job done in the end.
All right, talk to me on your general feelings as it relates to the game. So you said they got the job done, but in terms of the performance let's start with Nicholson. Mm-hmm. As you said, Nicholson is a player that is either you love him or you hate him. Mm-hmm. Half of Jamaica kind of be like, yeah, man, we're kind of tired with Nicholson. And then there are other people that want to see him play in the national colors. Talk to me about his performance on Thursday.
I think it was one of his better performances in recent times. A lot of people might say that, this is a guy that you just need to give him game time and give him a chance or continue to play him in the system. And I think so. Obviously it's very difficult for him to get into the team on a starting level basis with the system that the coach plays, and Antonio being there as well. But I think he did a fair job. The goal was a well taken goal. He was fed in by Romario Williams. He cut it back to his left and fired home with surety. So he didn't have a lot of open looks. I don't think he had a lot of open
looks. I don't think he had a lot of chances during the game. You're right.
Right. Which is not so indicative on him per se. But I think he did a fair job. I think he was up in he tried to win his area battles. He won a couple of them. He used his physicality when needed. He tried to hold the ball up to get teammates involved, just as Romario Williams did as well. You saw him on the flank sometimes, trying to make some space for crosses. I think it was a fair run out.
I think.
But again, just to quickly cap that off, the Grenadian team sat back a lot, so there wasn't always going to be a lot of space. There wasn't too many counter attacks. I think the goal that he got was transition. So there wasn't, we can't really, chastise the forward line because it was scraps that they basically had to fit off.
Cool. And as we talk about Nicholson, tell me who was your stand-up performer against Grenada?
As per usual, since his debut, I think it has to be Demarai Gray. I believe he has about 4 goals and 3 assists in 8 outings so far for the Red Boys, which is a phenomenal phenomenal conversion rate for his chances. He glides inside and tries to create because we play with a 4-4-2, so a lot of times there's no link between the midfield and the forward line. So a lot of times you see him cutting in off the inside and running infield to kind of link or to create, which is something that we need. So in that regard, he was very involved, I think. I think as well, the two central midfielders, I don't want to look too much at them, to be honest. But I think, now that you asked me the question, I'm looking around. I don't think there were a lot of great individual performances apart from Demarai Gray. In terms
I
of the
agree.
starting
Agree.
lineup, the players
Demarai
came on.
Gray.
I think there were some players that made an impact. Karoy Anderson, who got his first call up. Yeah, he got his first call up. He was assured on the ball. So
Anderson is the one that plays with Hector, with Michael Hector.
Yes, the 19-year-old boy. Very good though. I like the look of him. So I wouldn't want to say he was right up there in terms of a man of the match performance, but he was more assured. He did the work on both sides of the ball. He showed out the industry. He was composed on the ball. I don't think we had that with Lambert and Latibodier. It might have been one of the reasons why they changed out those two guys, because we kind of lose a grip of the game at the end of the first half.
Definitely.
So
and Pineda kind of came back at us during that time as well.
Exactly. There was a time when they had sustained pressure on us. They had possession on the ball for a while, which is kind of alarming. However, on the bright side of that is that we were steely, back there. In defense, they couldn't penetrate. Which is what you expect from the island teams. They have the trickery on the wings, but sometimes they have to resort to the attacks coming from the wings. They couldn't penetrate us, and that was a good sign.
Right, good. So let's talk quickly, Alexei, before we lose time or run out of time. Haiti, Jamaica coming up tomorrow. That match being played in Trinidad. What are your thoughts? Because we would have come back to draw with Haiti right here at the office recently. And what to me still is probably one of the stand-up performances from this Reggae Boy squad, because usually when the boys go behind, you get a lot luster feeding from them. They really came back and played for this point. So tell me, what are your thoughts on the match, the match tomorrow? What do you think? First of all, what do you think the starting lineup? Do you think we'll be in for surprises, or do you think Hal Grimston is gonna go with the big names tomorrow?
So the information that I'm getting is that the big names will come back into the team. Blake, Lowe, Leon Bailey. I expect Dexter Limbikisa to start at right back as well. The one you can say maybe be a surprise. Well, Antonio is expected to play in that game as well, by the way, because he could only be available for this Haiti game for personal reasons. So he's right. So he will. I expect him to start. We should all expect him to start tomorrow in place of who. I'm not so sure. I think both the strikers played well the other night. The one surprise you can look out for is maybe Karoy Anderson playing. Karoy Anderson playing could in place of Lambert. I like Lambert, great holding player. Karoy Anderson will probably bring a little bit more technique on the ball, a little bit more control in the middle of the park. He's 19, but I could see the communication was there. He was telling people to slow down, let's bring it back, recycle play. You could see that out of him. So that's very good we should expect good things from him tomorrow and going forward. It's interesting that the match is being played in Trinidad. Haiti couldn't play at home, and they couldn't play by their neighbors in DR either. But so the CONCACAF, they went to Trinidad because they're coming from Suriname. We expect more Jamaicans in Trinidad than Haitians. so that might be one of the things that
So that probably will go in our favor. And Alex, just before I let you go, do you have a score line for tomorrow?
I don't really do scores for the teams that I support, you should remember.
Okay. For the team that you don't support, you not support, you don't support Haiti. So how many
But anyways,
what? You can't come on the
I
show. I'm not
think
sure
I
and
think
say that.
I I'm sorry. But
I'm
but I
still
think it's going
supporting
to
Chelsea
be.
for the record.
I'm sorry, but I had to. I think it's going to be a 2-1 scoreline. I think it's going to be
In
a
favor of
2-1
Jamaica.
scoreline in favor of Jamaica. Right. And I think Antonio will be one of the scorers, and Demarai. I think it's going to be Antonio and Demarai Gray. But it's going to be tough. I expect Haiti to put us under a lot of pressure. It's going to come down to a resolve because we want to win the group, so we can get a team like Costa Rica or Canada to play in the next round. And if we win that round, we'll get through to the Copa America next year. So it's a
Right.
very
So
very important game. We can't take Haiti lightly, but I expect them to get the job done.
me too. I do expect them to get the job done. Alexi da Costa, thank you so much, my friend, for joining today. Really appreciate it. Might hear from you next week. We'll see. To hear your thoughts against the Haiti match. We'll see what we'll do. But thank you so much for joining me
I would
today
love
on
to.
Sports Talk. Really appreciate it. And we'll talk, Alexi. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right. So
Definitely.
that
Thank
was
you so much.
Alexi da
Thank you
Costa
to your
from
listeners.
876 Stream. He is one of the founders of that. Coming up after the break, we will be talking to Samantha Bell. And this is about Jamaica gymnastics. So stick and stay with us right here on Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
Dr. KJ presents Embrace the Promise, the Worship Edition. Tickets pre-sold 4,000 at the gate, 5,000. VIP pre-sold 6,000 at the gate, 8,000. Get them at Royale, Fontana, and South Sea Pharmacies. Enough prizes and surprises. Embrace the Promise, Saturday, October 21 at 6 p.m. at Manning's High School with Dr. KJ, Ron Canoli, Sonny Badu, Anil Watson, Sister Pat, and more. Sponsored by CGTV, Dr. KJ, and Bugs Innovations. Embrace the Promise. Embrace the Promise, the Worship Edition, Night 1, Friday, October 20. Free admission worship conference with Ron Canoli and O'Neill Watson, 7 p.m. Torrington Wesleyan Holiness Church, Strathbogie. Night 2, Saturday, October 21 at 6 p.m. The paid event at Manning's High School with Dr. KJ, Ron Canoli, Sonny Badu, O'Neill Watson, and more. Pre-sold 4,000 at the gate, 5,000. VIP pre-sold 6,000 at the gate, 8,000. Yeah, Fontana and South Sea Pharmacies.
Heroes Weekend comes alive for Jamaica Family Fest. October 14 at Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay, and October 16 at Hope Gardens, Kingston. Bring the kids for over 30 rides and games. Performances by Kevin Downswell, Elaine, Ching Ching, Lubert Levy, and more. Gates open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Admission free. Jamaica Family Fest is sponsored by Gospel Income, Harmony Beach Park, UDC, Jamaica Biscuit Company, Jackson Records, Nissan, Kia, Old MacDonald Farm, Love 101 FM.
Thank you for joining us here on Sports Talk at the family station, Love 101 FM. If you'd like to give your thoughts, you can WhatsApp us at 876-997-3125. Thank you for those who have joined us on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Joining us now on Sports Talk is Samantha Bell, and she is the team manager for the Jamaican gymnastics team. Samantha, good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. I'm really well. How are you?
Go again for me, Samantha.
I was saying good afternoon. I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's great to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Right, for making yourself available. Talk to me, Samantha, because, in my promo, I spoke about the support or lack of support that the Jamaica gymnastics team is not getting or doesn't seem to be getting from corporate Jamaica or just from Jamaica generally. So let me start there and then we'll go to the recent happenings in Panama. So as the team manager for the Jamaica gymnastics team, what do you think about the support you've been getting from Jamaica itself?
So, I wouldn't say that there's no support at all. I know that we do get some funding, but most of that would go to our senior teams that are competing at the higher level. But our developmental program is really, really important. The development program is where we, get the girls and the boys from when they're like 6 and 7 and 8. And this is a level where you really have to start grooming the gymnasts to be able to compete on a national level. So I do think the development program can do with a lot more support from corporate. Right now, it really is kind of just like the parents kind of funding this thing. But you know how it is with the small developing sports. It kind of has to start that way. But now that the girls are performing so well, we do hope that we will get some more support.
All right, Samantha, great. Tell me now, you are the manager for the Jamaica gymnastic team. Tell me a little bit more of what you do as the manager of the team.
Okay, so I just started this position this year. So getting my dipping my toes in the water here. But really, as team manager, first of all, we have a bunch of different teams. We have an all-star team, junior development team, senior development team, senior team. So as the manager, it really is my job to coordinate everything and everyone. So I have to make sure that everyone is ready to travel, that everyone is booked, everyone has their accommodation lined up, that all of the gears have been sorted. So running around, getting sizes, sending that out, keeping up with the media, keeping you guys informed of what we're doing, reaching out to sponsors to see what we can get in there. And then when we're actually away at the meet, it is now about coordination, keeping the girls focused, sometimes even going out on the floor and helping the coaches. But really, again, just more with like the transport, keeping the confidence levels high and making sure everything runs smoothly. Because when you have to compete, you don't want to have to be worrying about all the things in the background. You just want to focus
and the distractions from the athletes, right?
Exactly. So I have to make sure everything else is smooth.
Samantha, your work sounds like a lot, especially if you travel with a big team. I'm sure it's a lot.
It's so rewarding. So that's the good part.
I'm so happy to hear that from you. So the Jamaican All-Star team, it says it was chosen from the primary and prep schools.
That's right.
And you said this was their first international meet?
For all of the girls on this team, this was the first time they were competing internationally.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So talk to me, how did we go about, or did the Jamaica Gymnastics Association go about selecting this All-Stars team?
Okay, so I believe they had 3 or 4 school meets throughout the year. And from those meets, they chose the top performers. And I mean, these are all schools, so Mandeville, Montego Bay, Maypen, Kingston, from all island, from the whole island. And they chose these girls, they trained them together and prepared them for this trip. So that was the selection process.
All right. And then what's the age group that we're looking at in terms of who competed?
Okay, so they competed at the beginners level, and we had 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and 1 12-year-old. So these are littles.
These are beanies, as in small people. Wow. All right. So our medal haul was 40
medals. From 11 girls, we got 40 medals.
Come on, Samantha, talk to me. Talk to me about.
I need to talk about this. I want you to know this is not like a participation thing where everybody gets a medal, okay? Only the top 6 girls in each event medal, and only the top 10 medal overall for the all-around score. So, I mean, 40 medals from 11 girls is just amazing. We dominated.
That is quite a fantastic performance. Tell me about the top performance though from our team.
Okay, so from our team, all the girls did an excellent job, but particularly in the 12 and over age group, Lachey Chutkan came first overall. She also came first on floor, first on beam, and second on vault. So she just was definitely our all-around winner for the 12 and over. And I want to say a special mention, I'm not sure even her mom knows this, but in her level, there were 54 athletes competing, and she came first out of all 54.
54? So, 5, you said 5-4, Samantha. Wow.
Yes, and this is from Costa Rica, Guatemala, Argentina, El Salvador. This was Panama, of course. So it was a big deal.
That's quite dominant and just quite it's quite encouraging, because as I said, I don't see gymnastics being highlighted as much as I think it needs to, and for our girls to go and do this, I get this fantastic and great amount of medals, and just the dominance that they would have done this in, for a country that's, we're not really, I mean, there's Tony and then there's Denisha. But other than those two, we've not really explored gymnastics, and both Tony and Denisha are what you would call, they're overseas. They're not, they weren't locally trained. So to have locally trained gymnast performing, or gymnast performing at this level, I mean, it's just out of this. It's just out of this world. And then they're saying,
in one of our 8-year-old age groups, we had first place, second place, and fourth place all around. And I mean, these girls, up to a couple of weeks before competition, they had never actually gone on a high beam. So this was a big deal and a big performance for them.
And I'm so happy, so encouraged to hear about all these happenings. And you, based on what I've had, Samantha, it says that we've been invited to the competition next year.
We have. As we were leaving on the last day of competition, the organizer of the meet literally ran over to our bus to stop us from leaving, to tell us thank you so much for coming. We presented such a challenge for her girls that were there participating, and they've already invited us to come back next year, and they're expecting us to have like over 20 gymnasts. They want a large delegation from Jamaica.
Wow, and that's some great news. That is great news coming out of Jamaica gymnastics team, and talking to team manager Samantha Bell. Samantha, I think I'm gonna have to come give the gymnastics team a visit. You and I will talk. I'll come and probably watch the girls in training one day. I'm super excited about this because I do follow gymnastics as well, Simone Biles and the likes. I follow it in America. So for us to have something local that I can follow, I'm so excited about it. Samantha, thank you. She's a team manager for the Jamaican gymnastics team. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports Talk. Really, really appreciate it, Samantha.
You're so welcome, and come out and support us at the Jamaica Classics on December 2nd.
All right, great. I'll put that in my calendar.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye. All right, that was Samantha Bell from she's the team manager at the Jamaica gymnastics team, who traveled recently to Panama, securing 40 medals, including 3 all-round gold. That's it for Sports Talk today. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate your company within Sports Talk. I'm Kathya Davis. I'll be back right here on the family station, Love 101, for another exciting Sports Talk next week. Good afternoon.